The sun had not yet risen over the Texas hill country when the floodwaters struck. In the dark hours of early morning, as most residents slept unaware, a wall of water tore through towns and valleys, consuming roads, homes, and dreams. This was no ordinary rainstorm, it was a relentless, unforgiving deluge that transformed familiar landscapes into scenes of unrecognizable devastation. Now, with the first light of day revealing the true scope of the disaster, the death toll continues to climb. Reports now confirm that at least 51 people have lost their lives, with more still unaccounted for. Among the victims, the heartbreak cuts deepest with the news that 15 children are confirmed dead in the town of Kerrville. Local officials are calling this the deadliest flooding event in recent Texas history. In Kerrville, a town known for its peaceful riverfront charm, the grief is palpable. Families gather outside makeshift shelters, searching for names on rescue lists, clinging to hope as emergency crews push forward in their efforts. Across the region, disaster has struck with cruel precision, entire communities have been upended. Streets that once echoed with the laughter of children now sit under feet of muddy water. Foundations of homes have crumbled, vehicles have vanished, and lives have been irreversibly changed. Perhaps the most haunting chapter in this unfolding tragedy centers around a summer camp for girls located near the banks of the Guadalupe River. What was meant to be a place of safety, joy, and childhood memories became a sudden and terrifying scene of chaos. Around 3 a.m. Friday, the floodwaters surged with such intensity that the camp staff had only moments to respond. Emergency alarms blared, but the water was faster. Within minutes, the cabins were submerged, and dozens of campers, some as young as 6, were swept away in the darkness. First responders are now searching for 27 children still missing from that site. Search dogs, helicopters, and boats comb the area, fighting against time and the thick, debris-filled current. One resident who lives just upstream from the campsite recalled the moment he woke up to find the floodwaters at his doorstep. His voice, cracked with disbelief, told the story no one ever wants to live. The water was going so quickly, he said, you could see the river just swallowing everything. The house next to us, it was floating. It was gone. We went to sleep thinking everything was okay. When we woke up, nothing was left. All 4 of our vehicles were floating. My wife kept asking, where's the road? But the road was gone. Everything was gone. Rescue crews from across the state have descended upon the region, navigating flooded highways and collapsed bridges. Helicopters lower baskets to stranded families on rooftops. Firefighters form human chains to reach people trapped in trees. The courage of these first responders, working hour after hour in punishing conditions, has prevented this tragedy from being even worse. Still, the emotional toll is staggering. Rescue workers break down after pulling tiny shoes from the mud. Parents cling to photographs, hoping their child will still be found. Every passing hour brings a new report, sometimes of survivors, but far too often of loss. Governor Greg Abbott has declared a state of disaster in the hardest-hit counties. His voice heavy with emotion during a press briefing, he vowed full support for the rescue and recovery efforts. In a rare show of urgency and unity, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced that President Trump has officially signed the Federal Disaster Declaration, unlocking critical aid and resources for those in need. Shelters are opening across the region. Food, water, and medical supplies are being delivered by convoys of volunteers and National Guard units. Temporary housing is being arranged for those whose homes have been completely destroyed. But material help can only go so far in the face of such staggering emotional loss. Entire neighborhoods have been erased in a single night. Families are being reunited not in joy, but in mourning. Survivors stand ankle-deep in wreckage, holding on to memories, photo albums, school drawings, soaked stuffed animals, all that's left of a life before the storm. In churches and community centers now converted into shelters, strangers hold each other like family. The pain is raw, but so is the compassion. Texans, known for their resilience, are once again showing the world what it means to stand together in times of darkness. Flood maps show a staggering spread of water reaching areas previously untouched by similar events. Experts are already calling this a once-in-a-century flood, but for those living through it, the label means little. They want answers. What caused the water to rise so quickly? Were there warnings? Could more have been done? Meteorologists point to an unusual convergence of atmospheric moisture and a stalled low-pressure system, dumping more than 18 inches of rain in some areas in less than 24 hours. But statistics don't comfort grieving parents. Science doesn't calm the panic of not knowing where your child is. In the aftermath of tragedy, answers often take a back seat to grief. Downed power lines spark in the floodwaters. Trees have snapped like matchsticks. Gas leaks are being reported. Emergency alerts continue to blare across cell phones, warnings of flash floods, shelter-in-place orders, missing persons. Across the state, hospitals are overwhelmed. Trauma centers are treating injuries ranging from hypothermia and broken bones to emotional shock and grief. Volunteers arrive in droves, some carrying nothing more than blankets and hope. Others come with boats, food, or shovels. Every helping hand, every warm meal, every generator humming to life is a testament to the strength of community in the face of nature's fury. As night falls again over Texas, the search continues. Floodlights flicker along riverbanks. The hum of rescue helicopters echoes overhead. Families gather around radio broadcasts and TV updates, praying for the sound of a name, just one name, to be called. A glimmer of hope, a sign that not all is lost. But for many, the silence is deafening. This tragedy will be remembered, not just in numbers, but in names, faces, and stories. In the courage of first responders. In the strength of parents who wait. In the volunteers who will never be thanked enough. And in the memory of children who went to sleep under the stars, dreaming of summer adventures, and never woke up. And even as the floodwaters recede, the impact will remain, for weeks, for months, maybe years. But so will the spirit of those who endured. Because while water can drown, destroy, and devastate, it cannot wash away the courage of a community that refuses to give up.